Hello friends, welcome back. Today we will talk on the structure of pollen grain. So आज का हमारा टॉपिक है structure of pollen grain. In my previous video, I have discussed the microsporogenesis, how the microspores are developed into the microsporangia. ये हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में पढ़ा था. So for today, we will be discuss about the structure of pollen grain. Okay, so let's see the diagram on the board. The diagram is of a pollen grain. It is a dicot pollen grain, and in diagram you will able to see various parts of the pollen grain. Diagram में आपको pollen grains के अलग अलग parts देखने को मिलेंगे. So let's see what are details available about the pollen grains. The study of pollen grain is nothing but the palynology. Keep in mind, palynology is the scientific study of pollen grain, or the study of pollen grain is called as the palynology. Okay. Now, this pollen grain acts as a initial cell of male gametophyte in flowering plants. So it is the first cell from which the mature male gametophyte is going to be formed. So this first cell formed inside the pollen sac by the microsporogenesis. Okay, so is it clear? Initial cell of male gametophyte. Okay. This pollen grain is somewhat spherical or round in shape. So each pollen grain is a spherical, circular or round in shape and about 25 to 50 micrometer in diameter. The average इसका जो diameter होता है, it's about 25 to 50 micrometer. Okay, got this? Now, this pollen grain is a single cell structure. It is a unicellular consisting of a single nucleus, hence it is a uninucleated. Pollen grain एक unicellular, uninucleated, non-motile means not able to move, non-motile and haploid structure. So what next point you have to remember is that pollen grain is a unicellular, uninucleated, non-motile haploid structure, because this structure is formed inside the pollen sac by the meiotic division of microspore mother cell. Okay, so got this? Pollen grain is unicellular, uninucleated, non-motile and haploid structure. Next is, this pollen grain is surrounded by a double layered wall. हर एक pollen grain में दो layered होती है और the wall is composed of two layers, and these two layers are combinedly called as the sporoderm. So these two layers togetherly known as the sporoderm. Okay, next, out of these two layers, इसमें से जो दो लेयर में से the outer layer, this one, the outer layer is called as the exine, and this exine in pollen grain is a thick, solid and ornamental. So the outer layer of pollen grain is a exine, which is a highly thickened structure, solid and ornamental, called as the exine. And this exine is chemically composed of a chemical called as the sporopollenin. So this exine is formed from the chemical called as the sporopollenin. So this sporopollenin released by the Ubish bodies, or Ubish bodies help in the formation of the exine. So this sporopollenin is one of the hardest substance found in a kingdom plantae. किंगडम प्लांटी में सबसे हार्डेस्ट सब्सटेंस कौन सा होता है? स्पोरोपोलेनी. इट इज अ नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल. इज अ नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल. इस पे किसी का भी असर नहीं होता है. सो इट इज हाईली रेजिस्टेंट टू स्ट्रॉन्ग एसिड्स, अल्कली, हीट एंड द एंजाइम्स. Enzymes also do not digest the enzyme. That's why इसकी वजह से हाईली रेजिस्टेंट एंजाइम होने की वजह से पोलन ग्रेन्स फाउंड इन अ वेरी वेल कंडीशंस एज अ फॉसिल फ्यूल्स. ओके, बट see the diagram carefully. The enzyme is not a continuous layer. The enzyme is absent or very thin at the certain places. दिखाई दे रहा है डायग्राम में? एंजाइम कंप्लीटली थिकन नहीं है, कुछ जगह पे एंजाइम एब्सेंट है और थिक है. सच प्लेसेस आर कॉल्ड एज द germ pores. So the places where the enzyme is very thin or absent on the pollen grain is called as a germ pore. And what is the function of the germ pore? So germ pore is a place from which the emergence of pollen tube takes place. So germ pore is a place from which the emergence of pollen tube takes place. So pollen tube जब डेवलप होती है ड्यूरिंग द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मेल गैमेटोफाइट, जैसे ये पोलन ग्रेन लैंड हो जाएगा स्टिग्मा पे, तो स्टिग्मा में उसका जर्मिनेशन होगा एंड ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ पोलन ट्यूब फॉर्मेशन ये जो इंटाइन होगी, दैट इंटाइन कम्स आउट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ पोलन ट्यूब फ्रॉम द germ pore. So keep in mind what is the function of germ pore for the emergence of pollen tube. पोलन ट्यूब कहां से बनेगी? वेजिटेटिव सेल से बनेगी. ओके, सो नाउ on the basis of the number of germ pores present on the enzyme, they are classified as a triporite or tricolpate and monoporite and monocolpates. So इसके बेसिस पे, germ pore के बेसिस पे हम पोलन ग्रेन्स को दो कैटेगरीज में डिवाइड कर देते हैं, एक ट्राइपोराइट और मोनोपोराइट, और यू कैन कॉल इट ट्राइकोल्पेट एंड मोनोकोल्पेट. तो 3 germ pores, the number of germ pores 3 germ pores are found in a dicot, and hence the dicot pollen grains are called as a tricolpate or triporite. Whereas मोनोकॉट्स में एक ही germ pore प्रेजेंट होता है. So in monocots only one germ pore is present, and hence the pollen grain of monocot is called as monoporite or monocolpate. This is somewhat important things, triporite and monoporite. Now, as we have discussed about the enzyme, the innermost layer of the pollen grain is called as a intine, and intine is structurally different than that of the enzyme. So inner layer of pollen grain is called as a intine, and this intine is chemically composed of pectin and cellulose, or you can call it पेक्टोसेलुलोज. पेक्टोसेलुलोज क्या कॉम्बिनेशन होता है इंटाइन का? पेक्टिन एंड सेलुलोज. ओके, नाउ इन इंसेक्ट पॉलिनेटिंग प्लांट्स, जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? एंटमोफिलस प्लांट्स. इन एंटमोफिलस प्लांट्स pollen grain has a presence of yellow colored oily layer. एंटोमोफिलस प्लांट्स पे पोलन ग्रेन के आउटसाइड पे येलो कलर्ड ऑयली लेयर प्रेजेंट होता है, एंड दैट ऑयली लेयर विच आर प्रेजेंट ऑन द पोलन ग्रेन ऑफ एंटोमोफिलस प्लांट इज कॉल्ड एज अ पोलन किट. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? पोलन किट. एंड दिस पोलन किट इज मेड अप ऑफ लिपिड्स and carotenoids. So keep in mind, pollen kits which are present in pollen grains of entomophilous plants outside are made up of lipids and carotenoids. Is that clear? Now, this pollen kit, what are the functions of the pollen kit? ये pollen kit pollen grain पे क्यों present होता है? So this pollen kit protects the pollen grain from the harmful UV lights. Ultraviolet rays से ये protection करता है pollen grain की. Then pollen kit also helps to attach the insect. जब ये pollen grain insect को carry करना होता है stigma पे, so at that time this pollen grain should get attached to the insect body. So this pollen kit is a medium through which the pollen grains get attached to the insect body. So it helps to attach the insect with the pollen grains. Okay. And the last one function of the pollen grain is the yellow color of pollen grain attracts the insects. So this is all about the pollen grain. Thank you.